everyone. My name is Carrie, and I'm interviewing Pixels on October 16th, 2020 for the WiC Oral History Project. This interview is being conducted and recorded in a private Discord chat. The recording will be made available for anyone interested on the Black Dragons Discord in the Oral Histories channel. Thank you for joining me today, Pixels.
Hello.
Hey. So, first question everybody gets. How do you pronounce your in-game name, and why did you choose this name for yourself?
It's Pixels, and I've been just using this name in a bunch of games for a long time already. Ever since I got into video games. And I had a few variations, maybe Pixels name, Pixels with more S's, but it's always been something related to that.
Okay. Any particular reason why you chose the name?
No, really. Just
Why
I wanted
not?
something that could be maybe shortened easily to Pix, for example.
Gotcha. Okay. So, how did you first hear about the game?
So I started playing with a few friends from who I knew from another game. We're a group of 5.
Okay.
And we were waiting for an update on another game, and we wanted to try out some, like, just mess in another game. And one of them suggested this game, so we joined and we started messing in this game. You know, it wasn't our plan to start doing anything too big. Yep.
Okay. So you just kind of stumbled across it, or were you interested in Game of Thrones?
No, I mean, yeah, we were always talking about Game of Thrones. It was our main topic every day. But, and yeah, that was probably the reason why we decided to mess around for a bit on this game. When we first started playing, it was really fun playing with them. We organized it with each other. We shared information with each other, and really just, it was fun. But eventually they started quitting, and I kind of got stuck in this game. I couldn't quit.
You couldn't quit. All right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff happened. I don't know, should I start talking about how I started?
If you'd like. I mean, the only other thing I was really going to ask is, do any family members or friends from offline play with you?
No, not really anyone.
Then please tell us your story.
So,
where did you start out?
So, I started in K9.
Okay.
And in K9, when I started with my friends, the first thing we realized was, hey, we need to be on a big guild. That's going to be the biggest benefit. And so we weren't really putting money into the game, so we weren't really like much ahead. But we worked out like our average to be decent in order for a good guild to accept us. And that guild was Elites, something like that was called.
Okay.
In that guild, well, we didn't really get personal with anyone there.
Okay.
We just did our own thing. We would go and burn all 5 of us hives all together. It was fun. That guild was also a guild that Kynaston and her friends joined.
Okay, so that was KS9.
No, it wasn't KS9.
No. Okay.
No, so Kenya and her friends were on like, it was her and 2 other friends, Valkyria and Claude, joined the guild, kind of like a merge in a way.
Okay.
And that's when like we were getting filled with gifts from her.
Okay.
And the leader of that guild, I can't remember the name really, he started asking people for money in order to join.
What?
In order to
like
stay.
Real money?
Real money.
Oh, Jesus.
So we weren't really happy about that, and Valkyria, a friend of Kenya, and myself, we started speaking out against it. And when Valkyria decided, hey, I'm just gonna make my own guild, I just follow her. I was like, yeah, I agree with you, let's go.
Okay.
And that's how KS9 got made.
Oh, okay. All right.
From there, it was just like, well, I didn't join it originally as a leader. it was after the first siege of King's Landing that I started kind of getting mad in Discord at people making mistakes and getting zeroed and doing stupid stuff. I started shouting at people.
Okay.
And that's when Claude came and was like, I mean, do you want to be part of the leadership? Because you have a lot of ideas. And I joined the leadership and I just started remaking the whole Discord and started making guides and just trying to improve the guild overall. Because at that point, the only reason we were winning was because Kenya was just so powerful.
Yeah, there was just no stopping her.
Yeah.
I had talked to CG recently, and he had mentioned like when KS9 and Lou were still separate, and just the battles.
Yeah, I mean it was interesting because a bunch of like before KVKs, a bunch of my goal with the guild was improve the guild. I wasn't planning on making a kingdom wide thing, so I would let my members go and burn everything.
Yes, you did.
And yeah.
Gee,
it's so
I know
awkward.
That very well.
Knowing you were there.
What was that?
It is so awkward because you were probably one of them.
Yeah, well, no, because I knew how to bubble, but I had enough players that got burned and allies that got burned, and it was a hot mess. I ain't gonna lie on that, but, you know.
Yeah, the goal was to improve the guild, and the best way to, like, at that point, the best thing that you could do is level up your lord to level 60, reach level 60, because those talents were precious.
Yes.
And that was like kind of like how I managed with my friends that started me into this game to raise so many hives by being free to play. We by burning, we kind of rush our level and we focus our talents on the right units, and that was kind of like how we could fight and keep up with those who were putting money into the game.
I gotcha. Yeah, Marge used to do this thing where we would basically trade troop kills. So I'd go down to her little mini hive. Odysseus would join us, and we'd basically just murder troops on each other to help level up.
Yeah, leveling up was key at that point, early game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I would kind of let like everyone just do their thing and burn everything, because it was like just go level up, get the kill improving. Let's do this. But yeah, that turned out to be a mistake, because then KVK came. Well, if we were about to get the first KVK, and the whole kingdom was the whole time just war, like between like Lue, even though Kenya would take every castle, they could still like CG, Randy Run, and Balls on Fire would still raid our hive the whole time, and we had all our members being bubbled and not progressing as fast as possible. So that's when we decided to merge with Lue. Well, I was talking with CG a lot. I think CG was also talking with Valkyria. And mostly just to try and see if I could get them to join us. Because they were, like, at this point, only Kenya had tier 4. CG and Randy and Balls of Fire were unlocking tier 4s. And it was going to be 3 tier 4 players against 1 tier 4 player.
Yeah.
And that was going to be a really disadvantage for us. I honestly thought that they would try and go for King's Landing before, like way earlier, because they had 3 tier 4 players. And at that point, like, having our rally lead stats wasn't as big as having like a rally with so many tier 4 units.
Right.
And they really didn't. But anyways, I was talking to them to try and get them to join, or try and make friends with them. And well, just being a good fight, because I like the people that actually gave a good fight.
Right.
Like a bunch of the people that are recruiting K9 from DDT, HBR, or that were people that I actually burned at some point and reacted nicely. Like reacted like on a good way, or like hey, good fight, you are playing. Well played, or stuff like that. Like, like I think Dragon came from HBR, and Tio. You remember Tio?
Oh yeah, Tio was a blast.
Yeah.
I was sad when he
Uh,
quit. I had fun
yeah.
talking with him.
Yeah, he was interesting. He was fun.
Um,
Yeah, well, from those talks, he came up to merge with Lue before KBK, and we merged with Lue, and
okay.
then ECL was made.
Yes.
Uh, that's
ECL,
also
ECS.
when the goal of the guild changed a lot because Lue was more towards building a kingdom, and so
Mm,
a bunch of those ideas we incorporated them and tried to build a kingdom, but it was too late. Uh,
yeah. A lot of the bridges
they
were literally burnt at that point.
Yeah, a lot of people were already mad at us. It wasn't a way of fixing it, and even though well, after the first KBK was a whole mess because we got against K14, who
Oh, the world
like
chat alone was a mess.
that KBK. I mean, it was mostly like the amount of T4 players that kingdom had. Like
Yes.
the Red alone already had way more tier 4 players than we did. And then you had NDM and some M5s, some other guild that even them had. I even tried to ally with NDM, and they ended up not doing anything because apparently they were fighting Red.
Oh god.
Yeah, that game went really bad, but we learned a lot.
Yeah.
And we learned mainly that gathering is so important, and then a lot of PvP stuff from fighting Red.
Yes.
But yeah, we try to fix the kingdom stuff. We try to give some naps around. Try to do stuff. Try to hold our members, although it was really hard because at this point they were used to just fighting all the time.
Mm,
And then came the second KVK, was it? Against K19.
yes.
Yeah, that was a really fun KVK
That
because
was the early start KVK.
that was really fun for a few reasons. First, Kingdom 19 was filled with people who had no idea what PvP was because it was a peaceful kingdom filled with a lot of players, like thriving on the players they had.
Mm.
But they had little experience on fighting from what I've seen. Like a few people that had experience, they kind of didn't participate in the PvP part of the KvK, like Doughness and Alicia.
Mm. Well, they were at a different level. I mean, Doke was the kingdom whale, and the rest of the kingdom, honestly, yeah, they were not PvP oriented, but it proved the power of gathering.
Yes, so here's the thing. That KvK was I had already Kenya wasn't available, like she was really busy, so she let me play on her account. It was kind of like most of
Okay.
the first times that I started playing on her account, and I spent 20 hours just on castles, burning people, burning nodes.
Okay.
It was so much. Like I think there was a player that had like 15 million tier 3 troops without tier 4 unlocked. And
Really?
we zeroed him. Yeah, it was a really weird name, started with something like K.
Oh God, I don't know.
It was like a 400 million player that ended up being like a 150 million after we zeroed.
Ooh, if they were that
Yeah,
high, they were probably in VMO.
yeah, I cannot remember really much about that. Yeah, I think they were on the north part of King's Landing,
Okay,
down
yeah, then
north.
that was VMO. All right. So,
Uh, yeah, it was fun, but yeah, Kynaston even was like the account was on number one on the world on points. ECL was number one on the points, but we still lost that KVK because of the power of gathering.
yep,
They just ran their tractors through us.
it was honestly surprising, but really funny. I'm sorry, it was. At the time, we're just
Yeah.
like, we still
Like I
won.
remember having a head start because of like just PvP points
Yes.
at the start, and suddenly that just disappeared. And even I tried my best to just like attack all the gatherings just to not let them like AFK gather, but it just was too much. It was
Yeah.
impossible. And
So,
yeah,
what happened next?
happened next. Well, we realized we needed to move a new kingdom.
Mm.
Our goal was to find a kingdom where it was populated, where people didn't think bad about us, and where we could balance like peace and war at the same time,
Right.
to kind of like not lose that PvP experience, not lose what we enjoy about this game, where we play this game, but also like not feel like have a good game or have a good chance to participate in KVK, have like not be alone.
Yeah, have a
Like
community.
have some some social interaction with someone else apart, because on K9 we were just left alone. And well, we tried K19, and there were some cool people like Donis and Alicia we met there, which
Mm-hmm.
they ended up joining us.
Yes, they did.
But there were also a few people that knew us from K9 and were kind of rude, so that didn't work. We then tried K5, because K5 was a kingdom that was populated, but there was kind of a fight between Kai and Sin, I think.
Oh, okay.
So we tried to go there, be like, hey, we're willing to listen what rules you have. We want to work with you guys, see if we can have some balance between fights and that. And the leaders of Kai were straight up like, you come to this kingdom, we're disbanding.
Oh, wow.
Like, they weren't like, we are leaving or that. It's like, our guild is just gonna implode and disband.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was like, that's not gonna work with that mentality. And then, well, trying to see which other kingdoms. Calvin came up on the conversation for some other reason, and I remember, hey, K8 is populated, and so I contacted Calvin, who, well, I already had talked to him before because he wanted to make an alliance before the KVK started,
Oh,
but
okay.
I kind of left that hanging because I wasn't sure if Kate was gonna be like involved in any KVK with us,
Okay.
which they didn't end up being involved. But yeah, we talked to him, and Calvin was super cool. Like, he was managing this kingdom so well. He was actually managing to balance war and peace by having these war days and peace days.
Yes.
Um, he even had like gathering rules, like required speeds of gathering to gather nodes and stuff like that. But yeah, it was amazing. It was honestly impressive how he managed to get so many guilds like to listen to him, to follow him, to trust him, which was the main reason why they agreed to let us into Kingdom 8, because we had the support of Calvin in order to join the kingdom. Many other guilds inside of that kingdom were doubting about letting us go there.
Right.
And it worked out. We joined, it was fun. We started making new friends, allies. We had some war days. We started fighting with OBL.
Was that
And
intentional or was that just something that
no,
happened?
it was for fun, like fun fights.
Oh,
We
okay.
had the war days, and we were just like attacking each other, and like a few people were getting zeroed, but it was mostly a learning experience, and we both understood that
Okay. So it was
uh,
mutual.
both
Gotcha.
sides. Yeah, uh, yeah, it was fun. And in one of those war days, while we were all zeroed or bubbled,
Mm.
BLT showed up, the Fire Nation. Uh, and yeah, started a whole war. To be honest, I was surprised. I thought BLT would show up like on a peace day or on a siege day,
No, they
but they
wanted
showed up on
war.
war day when we were like all just zero or bubbled, so they couldn't do anything.
Oh, wow.
That
So
that
people weren't
always
actually
surprised me.
exposed.
What?
People weren't actually exposed then. Okay.
Yeah, like they could have attacked at certain other points that the whole kingdom would have been way more exposed than it was.
Mm.
Uh, and then we had the siege, and that was. I don't remember if I was. what number of siege it was, but I have one siege against BLT that on my mind that I remember. There was one siege where there was a maintenance in the middle of it.
Oh, geez.
Yes, and we were doing double rallies with Calvin onto King's Landing, and we ended up like we could take King's Landing, but we could also not hold King's Landing from Burgle. And so we managed to get it like to take King's Landing as the timing for the maintenance hit. Like there was no way that in like 3 or 5 minutes BLT could take King's Landing back before the maintenance hit, but the maintenance ended up being delayed for like 5 or 10 minutes. So they took King's Landing, and our rallies to take it back didn't hit. Like they were on its way to getting filled while the maintenance just randomly hit.
Oh, no.
So yeah, and then when we came back, apparently Kenya's rally didn't hit King's Landing, but Calvin's did. So
Okay.
it ended up losing just more troops to Calvin, but our rally didn't hit King's Landing, so we didn't really take it. Because Calvin like was super useful for just like weakening the King's Landing,
Right.
and then Kenya would come and just sweep. In case, so that way, like if we got countering, even then we had a chance of winning.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and we ended up losing, but that was like a really intensive KVK. Yeah, and then, well, I don't know if you want me to continue with this history lesson.
However you want to share your experience is fine with me.
Sure.
If you want to keep talking about this, then you keep talking about this. If we want to move on, I'll move on.
Sure. So then, Byzantine, Andrew had been talking with the Engage Discord with Calvin and myself and everyone else.
Right.
From our side, not from BLT side, because he had some beef with BLT.
Okay.
So he decided to join us. Well, at this time, like the main big server for war was K14.
Yes.
Where you had like 1KS, Red fighting each other. And, well, so Byzantine came to Gate, decided because he wanted to fight BLT on our side, so he joined ECL. And at that point, I was kind of burned out. I wanted to quit the game because it was just too much stuff going on. And up to that point, although I had a lot of people helping me, I was kind of taking care of most of the tasks of the guild as a leader.
Okay.
So that's where I started like just delegating tasks to a lot of people, even grabbing members and just giving them like tasks, asking them if they could help on anything. And one task that I could never delegate, that I tried to delegate to CG and other people, was the military guy. Like someone to take care of, hey, this is the rally, this is how we're gonna do it.
The strategy and all. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but on the moment, like beyond on the moment, making the calls.
Yes.
So yeah, that was something I was taking care of, and I couldn't really keep taking care of because I couldn't be on at all times. And well, I tried with CG, but CG was also very busy, and he was also kind of like his playstyle was kind of more like a solo player than talking with other people, in my opinion, at least.
Okay.
Although he was a really good player, that's why I delegated him with most of the military stuff. But that wasn't working, so Byzantine was a great opportunity. He was really good at everything military.
Gotcha.
So we added him to the leadership with a bunch of other people who came from his same guild. He had like a guild of really incredible people, but at the same time, a low amount of people. So they ended up joining ECL.
It was, I think, Noel, Revo, and Byzantine that we gave. We make them part of the leadership in ECL.
Okay.
And they took care of most of the military stuff for a while. And, well, at one point, K14 stuff war came to an end with ATD becoming a thing, like a huge thing.
Yes.
And 1KS disbanding. Thomas, who was a good friend of ECL, as well as Godiva, came to ECL. And then came ATD chasing Thomas pretty much.
Chasing him?
Thomas
Why?
Melina. Because, I don't know, I think there was some hate or something. Well, I think it was mostly like, hey, ATD wants to be part of this big war that is happening between
Yes.
us and BLT. But at the same time, I feel like there was some reasons behind of just chasing Thomas Melina around, like
Okay.
wanting to keep fighting him. It felt like that.
Well, if Thomas wants to share it, he'll let me know.
You should definitely have an interview with him.
Well,
Though.
I actually asked him. He has politely declined. So, but I might ask him in private anyway, just because I'm curious now. So these new people end up joining. They take off some of the weight off your shoulders with running the alliance because you were basically running ECL.
Yes, like Kynaston was like the leader, the face of the alliance, but she was very busy at the same time. So most of the just administrating the alliance was taking like the recruitment, who to kick, tracking, like making decisions of who to kick, who to add, how to react to peoples and dramas and military and all that. Like I was taking care of that, and I was receiving a lot of help from Marshall, Battler, Randy Ron, even Teal. But it was mostly like opinions and like maybe it's talking to some people sometimes and tracking. Like Marshall was amazing at tracking people's activity. But yeah, I felt like I was kind of making the final decision on everything, even though I put myself there as an advisor, like same rank as everyone else, as every other officer.
Okay.
So yeah, I started delegating tasks, like Platkin became the recruiter, and yeah, like I got Byzantine to be the military guy.
So what happened next?
Well, we fought. Okay, it was fun. We fought for a while. Eventually, well, we had some drama, big drama happen. Which kind of saw it coming because Byzantine had a really like angry attitude towards people. He was like a rude attitude. I don't really want to go into details of what happened with the drama, but some drama happened with Byzantine, and he ended up leaving along with some other players. Some left to ATD, others left to other places. And that kind of opened the doors to talks with BLT. Because BLT and Byzantine had a really bad, like they didn't like each other. And with Byzantine gone, we started talking with BLT, who was starting to fall behind on the three-sided war, because it was never like a two-sided war. Once ATD came to the K8, it's just a three-sided. No one ever allied with anyone.
Right.
And yeah, it happened way too quick, and we ended up merging with BLT. It happened way too quick out of nowhere. Like even leadership from ECL and BLT, they were like, "What happened here?" This suddenly they were on our Discord, and we were starting to coordinate stuff together.
Well, it sounds like you guys just saw something that needed to happen, so you made it happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, ATD had just like gotten a bunch of really strong players, and it just needed to happen. And BLT was becoming a little bit less active because of Burkle becoming less active.
Yes. Yes. So that led to the merger. That led
yeah,
to
and BCL was born.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from there it was a lot of fighting. I took a big step back. Like I was always reading Discord, of course, but I'm giving my opinion where I see fit. Maybe trying to deal with some dramas, trying to help. But I took a big step back because I had to focus on real life.
Okay.
But I was still involved. I was still trying to maintain the alliance as alive as possible, giving opinions, trying to bring up new ideas, and real reading on my spare time.
Right.
And yeah, from there we went to K33, where it was Falcor and Terrax had some big alliances. They were like the new up and coming alliances.
Right.
And honestly, this part is really, I don't remember much because I was really like just looking from outside, kind of in a way.
Okay.
But I think like BTS and another alliance showed up there where they received some support from ATD, some members joined in. And they kind of started fighting Terax and Falgor. So we were like, let's go join in, let's fight BTS. And we were planning on following that Kingdom 33 rules. And I don't know if I aligned with Terax and Falgor, but like trying to work out something with them. But they really responded really badly to us going there. Like they really didn't like it. And they
Did they
ended up
see it as
leaving.
an invasion?
They didn't never, like when we tried to talk to them, like to give us permission if they wanted to join. I don't know. It was really confusing. At some point they wanted, at some point they didn't. From what I remember, I think. And well, we ended up showing just to fight BTS. We never really attacked their guild. Their guild just left on their own. And we kind of wanted to go there too because we were on close talks with NDM at the time.
Okay.
We were on K18, and we wanted to work with them. We wanted to fight with them, like fight with them on our side. And K33 looked like a nice place to have a fight.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, like building a kingdom, the whole idea had already disappeared.
Oh.
Like our alliance was just built on we want to challenge ourselves. We want to be the fighting alliance. We want to use our troops.
I gotcha.
And so we went to K33 with NDM. The big challenger were, well, Joker Sana was there, of course, who was an ex-XTD. And then you had Mayun and Orion. And we thought it was fun. And then the fight moved to K31, where ATD also joined the fight. So it was against ATD and BTS. TNR also joined on our side. NDM kind of disbanded at that point. And it was TNR and BCL against BTS and ATD. ATD kind of disappeared, then BTS left to K19, and well, now it's pretty. We're kind of getting to the present pretty quick, which is the fighting K54 against Sabo.
So how did that come about? You guys deciding to come to 54?
We had a lot of options, a lot of strategy, depending on who moved and what moved on different kingdoms. We're looking at a lot of kingdoms with potential of having decent alliances. And we're not saying like decent alliances on power, but decent alliances on how their member structure is.
Okay.
Where they look strong, where they look like their members are not just merit bags, but are actually people who know what they're doing.
I gotcha.
And we were surprised, to be honest, on RAM actions of moving to K54. Like, we knew they had kind of beef with CTL, but we didn't think that they would move to that kingdom because that kingdom wasn't the same CSS group as us in K31. And when they moved there, it was like, well, thank you, RAM. You just made the decision way easier. You're just gonna win CSS and just go there and fight you.
Okay. So their move basically decided it for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Because we were like even discussing sacrificing our win on CCS in order to be free of which kingdom we could move. Because if you win CSS,
yeah, you're stuck in the pool.
Yeah, Kynaston cannot move to any kingdom, which is something I hope they fix at some point.
Well, I know that was part of the reason that Cartel ended up moving to K54 because they were stuck with a pool. So yeah, it definitely makes the mobility a little bit more challenging, but
yeah, and we ended up allying with Cartel because they were long-time friends, long people we've been talking to, and it kind of just made sense.
I gotcha. So you're now on K54. What is that like for you guys?
It's fun. We're kind of hoping for more activity. Like, it would be more, like, our goal is not to win. Our goal is to challenge ourselves. And sometimes it's really hard to find a challenge with the game mechanics. Like, there's so many kingdoms now. It's so easy for alliances to find themselves on a kingdom alone where they can be peaceful.
Yes.
And so, like, these random fights that used to happen back in the day don't happen that often anymore between, like, alliances.
Well, it gets
so
expensive.
This is definitely fun that it happened with Ram and CTL, and we could join. But it would be fun if, like, other guilds joined this fight.
What do you think would encourage them to join you? Because you've experienced that whole, oh God, it's BCL or ECL, depending on which version it is, that fear. So what would you...
Yeah, I mean, with ECL, like, even when BLT came, we weren't scared. We were like, hell yeah, this is fun. We were tired of all these no dramas. Like, all we had on this game was no dramas, and maybe some war with OBL, but like having a full war on the kingdom, it just got rid of all these dramas about nodes, about farming, about stuff that isn't really that important, and people make way more important than it should be. And it was just about focusing on the war and, like, being competitive and focusing on improving your game than just, like, trying to manage a community.
Okay.
I do enjoy managing a community, though. Like, that's kind of why I stay on this game, because I love the community that was built in BCL, and I want to keep that for a long time.
So, what would you say is, or rather not, how would I put it? Okay. You came into the game with an initial impression. How has it changed now?
How has it changed? Let's see. Well, my impression of the game changed a lot. I feel like, in a way, it came back to what it was at the start.
How so?
Like, at the start, my goal was just to fight people with my friends, like, challenge myself.
Right.
Then it kind of switched into, hey, build a community, build a kingdom, like, make alliances, make enemies, fight against schemers, people who scheme against ECL or KS9. And it kind of then went back into, hey, challenge myself, fight people. But this time it wasn't just myself and a few friends, it was a whole fucking guild. Like, 2 guilds, actually, because BCD is also part of our family, and they also, in a way, share our idea of challenging themselves with fights.
I gotcha. So, what is your favorite part of the game, and why?
Probably the social aspect of it. Like, I stopped playing the game, to be honest. Like, I still log in sometimes on some accounts of BCL to participate on rallies and sieges.
Right.
But
you don't actively
play. I stopped taking care of my own account. I stopped, like, playing the game overall. I just, well, in a way, I play the game, but from Discord. Like,
yeah.
everything I do to in a way, interact with the game is done through Discord, is done through me talking with people and coming up with ideas, so discussing ideas with the rest of the leadership. I still know a bunch of, I know less about the game than I knew before, because a lot of stuff came out where I wasn't playing, but I still read, everything on this Discord, so I kind of know about it. I read the discussion about war strategy between Polarix and Thomas Melania, and that teaches me a lot of what's going on with the game, what's the meta.
Oh, yeah. No, I spoke with Polarix earlier today, and I am just like, wow, okay, this guy definitely knows his game mechanics. So if you can keep up with him, you're not missing anything.
I can barely keep up, to be honest. He's a beast.
Yep. So then, I guess my next question would be, of all the kingdoms you were on, which one was your favorite?
Kingdom 8, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Every kingdom had its stuff. Even on K9, the learning curve was really fun. Even my fights with Monkey Man were super fun.
I never thought I'd hear you say that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was a whole social engineering thing to fucking have him as an enemy.
Oh.
And even at some point he was part of the Alliance.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, so what do you what do you believe is the key to a successful alliance?
Transparency.
Transparency.
Trust into the officers, trust in between members. And just being friends. Just being nice to each other. But transparency is pretty important.
I agree.
But yeah, I feel like I should say the same as every person who made a big deal says. It's one of the things that I kind of ran my guild on that was very different from other guilds I've seen on other games was that I never put myself as a leader. If I got put onto any position of leadership, I was put there by other people. And even when I was on a position of leadership, I shared the same role as other people. I see all members as the same. I see all advisors as the same. There's no different tiers of leadership on BCL. Okay. The only high tier is basically Kynaston being the queen, but in the same way, she's so nice that no one really sees her as, hey, this person thinks she's above me. She's nice.
She just is.
She won't ever think of that.
Yeah. I mean, even on K9, kind of always had the respect. She was always just a kind person. So
yeah, I was the devil behind it.
You absolutely were, but but this is all about perspectives, and like you shared, you came in with a different approach than other people did, and so your approach made sense to you, and you adapted and changed it over time. And just like my perspective now that I can sit here and have this conversation and make that joke with you shows it's the people are beyond the game, you know. And
yeah, I don't hold any grudges with anyone, even
exactly.
Here's the thing. There's some people who had been extremely rude, including real life stuff rude.
Okay.
For that people I would probably never have some kind of respect. But for people like, I don't know, yourself, Monkey Man, Loon, and I don't know, some people from ATD, people from BTS, I definitely have a lot of respect, and I wish to meet with them, even if it's as allies or enemies again.
I gotcha. Well, hopefully you'll have that opportunity. I mean, that's the one advantage also with Discord is that we're able to kind of step away from the game. It's harder to split that perception when you're actively in it. So hopefully you'll have that opportunity to talk with them and build those bridges. I don't know. But
it's kind of hard. Like, for example, one of the things that, for example, this was my experience on between the first KVK and the second KVK. On the first KVK, it was against Red, and Red talked so bad on a war chat. They were so mean, so rude.
Oh yeah, no, that was definitely an experience. I had never seen that level of
toxicity.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, you saw me, I think, on World Chat. I kept on like trying to offer brownies and puppies just to like counter them. I mean, that started my whole World Chat KVK thing that probably drove a lot of people nuts. But I was just like, if you're going to be that level of toxic, I'm going to just go that level of saccharine and hopefully balance it out a little. But yeah, that kind of surprised me because I was used to
my whole
World
thing
Chat.
there was like, stay away from World Chat, guys. Like, just ignore it. These people are not worth your time. And then came the whole different that was K19, that KVK. K19 was so nice. Like, even when I was burning all of them, they were so nice to me.
Well, we didn't know it was you, to be fair. We're like, oh, kind of still at it. Okay. So, but, watching Winterfell on fire, we're gathering. Winterfell's on fire, we're gathering. It was just like, that was the thing. But yeah,
and that was kind of why we approached them first, because we were like, "This is such a nice kingdom."
Yeah, it definitely had its moments. Yeah, but it's amazing how the cultures are different with each kingdom.
Well, this game is way different to other games in terms that on most games the main culture is from USA. On this game, it's really people from every country and way different cultures, either working together or working like as enemies. Mm-hmm. So it's a whole different experience with the people that you talk to compared to other games because of that.
The global dynamics of it, yes.
I met like on BCL, there's people from every part of the world.
It's fascinating. I think that personally is one of my favorite parts. Like, I will hear about countries that I will most likely never visit. I have friends that will go on vacations and they'll share pictures of where they went, and I'm like, this is amazing. I would have seen it otherwise. So no matter what, this game sort of gives you a gateway into the rest of the world that you might never have the opportunity to see.
Yeah. And it's mostly thanks to like Game of Thrones, pretty much. Like, since it attracted people that usually weren't really into games.
That's very true.
Game. And well, there are the huge like advertising that they had on this game on both Facebook and a lot of pages.
Yeah. No, there was a huge push. I remember coming across the advertisements on Facebook, and I was sitting at work, and I was just like, okay, nothing's going on. I might as well, but I'm not making a Facebook account. That's the one thing I was really glad that I didn't do. But it was nothing like the ad.
That advertising was everywhere, like on every single page. Like,
yes. Once you had clicked on anything Game of Thrones, that was going to show up on your feed.
Yep, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, people from every country, even people that with different personalities. Okay, like same country, different personalities. Some really big personalities have been seen through this game.
That is true. So let me ask this: what is your proudest moment in the game?
Proudest moment.
Yeah.
Well, probably burning K19.
Okay.
But like in general, like I'm proud of everything, kind of like of what was built for this time. yeah, there's a lot of little things that I could be proud of too.
Okay. If there was something that stood out to you, that would be
Yeah, like the thing that stood out for me was like that long day, those 20 hours of being awake just fighting K-19. That was really fun.
Okay. All right. So, is there anybody in particular you admire in the game, or you tried to just make sure you hung out or played with, anything like that?
A lot of people.
Okay.
Well, in a way, I kind of ended up recruiting every person that I admire, or try to recruit it. Like,
Okay.
a bunch of the people from BLT, Thomas Melina, and a bunch of people that passed through ECL. I ended up recruiting because I admired them. Like, I saw them as really strong and people, really good people. And I was like, yes, I would take this person to the guild. And it happened to happen. The situation kind of happened and they joined. Like Polarix is amazing, Thomas Molina is amazing. Well, everyone from the leadership of BCL is amazing. I don't know, like even some people that came through, like CG and Tio are amazing. Randy was amazing. I remember this guy, Percifiel. He was amazing. He made me think that I had spies on KS9. Because
Wait,
he had
what?
with his wife, he made a whole database of people locations, and he was feeding it to Lue, and so Lue knew a lot about our locations and
Oh,
where we
wow.
vote and where our bubbles were could like pop off and pop up. He was really an amazing guy.
Wow. Okay, that's taking it to the next level.
Yeah, he did, and I ended up recruiting him too.
Of course you did. All right. Um, are there any special moments in the game that you did not mention so far that you would like to mention?
I don't know, special moments.
Yeah.
When we finally zeroed Joker Sana was a special moment. Everyone was excited about that.
How so?
Joker
Why?
Sana. He was a big enemy for us. Like in a way, like I would love to. I would love for him to come back to the game and fight him again because he
Okay.
quit after we zero him. But he was a really good fighter. Like it was fun to be his enemy.
Okay.
But and well, it was a challenge to be his enemy, and when we finally got him, everyone in the guild was excited about it. Like people were just attacking him just to be like, "Hey, I have a screenshot of me winning against Sana."
Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh.
That was a fun moment. What else? There's a bunch of drama moments
Better to
with a
not
lot of people.
visit those, huh?
Yeah, a bunch of how do you say it? Anecdotes came from
Anecdotes?
this game.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think most of them should do fit on this kind of
Okay.
podcast or
Nope.
interview.
That's fine. So, last question, unless there's anything else you want to contribute. What is the one thing you most want people to remember about you?
Oof. Well, I never really been someone like I never really wanted to be a character on the game. That's why mostly Kynaston was always the face of the guild, of the alliances. Because I didn't really feel like since I was making a lot of harsh decisions, like that many people would like see as something really bad and many people would see as something really good. I didn't really ever want to be like the face of the alliance. So in a way, I wasn't being trying to be remembered. I was mostly trying to just have fun with the game.
Okay.
But yeah, things just I met a lot of people, and like through enemies or through coming through the alliance or being allies. Like my Discord is filled with like over 500, almost maybe I'm reaching like 1,000 friends. And these are just people that I've talked through diplomacy or that tried to join the alliance or I met somehow through this game. So in a way, if we're talking not like in public, but just like people that I needed to talk in order for this game, I ended up being remembered by some people in a way.
Well, it's hard to be ignored when you are the de facto leader of the strongest alliance in the game.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it is.
So, no matter what, you're going to get remembered.
Yeah, and I do have to participate on some discussions, sometimes in public, that kind of make that happen.
So, I'm going to say, if there's nothing else, thank you for your time today, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I'll talk to you later, Pix.
All right, see ya.